Yeah, it is us once again. Two dudes and a mic. And I am your host, the OG Gamers, Captain Cat Daddy. But you're sure not going to get a lot of biasness from me. And we have our journalist, the facts spitter, Todd A. Brown.
In the building. Let's go.
Welcome to Two Dudes and a Mic.
Two dudes and a mic. Let's get it. Week two for two dudes and a mic. Look, so glad to be getting together again. Of course, there is a lot that has been happening in the sports world. And listen, Captain Cat Daddy, I am looking forward to getting into today's topic. So let's not belabor the moment, but we are grateful for every single person who does take the time to listen. And we hope that we are entertaining you. We hope that we are also giving you information and causing you to look at sports just a little bit different, not having that media bias that some folk have, but just keeping it real and giving you solid, factual opinion. Let's go.
That's right. That's right, bro. So we're here to give the folk what they need. They don't know they need it yet, but they do need it. Two dudes and a mic. And we got our first topic up today, and that is the NBA offseason movement. And your thing is definitely the NBA, Brown. What you have to say about that today?
All right. So first, we just came off the draft. And I don't want to spend too much time on the draft. Partly because most of those guys are not going to make significant impact. I'm sorry. I know that it's great from the standpoint of these young men who have put a lot of time and energy and effort, and they are seeing their dreams come true. But let's just be honest about some things. The majority of these guys that get drafted are not going to make big time impact in the league until about year 2 or year 3. So I'm not taking away from those individuals, but if we really want to talk about the NBA and off-season moves, we have to talk about the trade that we saw that Golden State and the Warriors made, that Phoenix and the Wizards of course made, the moves Boston Celtics have made, because these things are going to be significant changes to the NBA landscape. So, of course, even when we look at it from the standpoint of, let's start in Boston. Boston, of course, moves Marcus Smart, who I think was the heartbeat of that team, and they move him to Memphis, which for Memphis, that's a good thing because they're getting rid of Dylan Brooks, which they had. Dylan Brooks was one of those cats that, he sells a whole bunch of wolf tickets. He's more talk. And so Memphis finally caught on to that and said, you got to go. And so they get somebody who can actually back up what they talk in Marcus. Marcus Smart is a dog. He backs up everything that he says, and he is truly going to be a phenomenal asset to the Memphis Grizzlies, especially with Ja being suspended. And we're going to get into that a little bit later on. So Boston, though, goes and gets Porzingis. Now, I don't know about you. The one that they called a unicorn has been nothing. He has not been a unicorn at all in any measure that we can think of.
Correct.
Comes to Porzingis, number one, injury prone. Number two, wilts under pressure, but he's skilled. So maybe another change of scenery is going to help him, because Tatum and Brown will take a lot of the pressure off of him, but he's going to have to perform. So Boston's going to be a contender, of course. I don't know if this move puts them over the top, but it does really say that the team now belongs to Tatum and Brown. And as Tatum and Brown go, that's how the Celtics are going to go, because they got rid of their heart their heart in Marcus Smart. That's some of my thoughts right there. Go ahead, Cat Daddy. You can chime in before we get to, of course, the one that I really want to talk about is that CP3 and Jordan Poole movement that we saw.
Oh yeah. I'm really hoping. Now, one thing I want to ask you, Brown, while we're talking about the Boston Celtics,
Yeah.
and we're going to kind of, it's probably going to help segue us into the CP3 trade.
Okay.
What do you feel that is the Eastern Boston, but not just Boston, but the Eastern Conference? How is it looking now with the draft and with these blockbuster trades that we have in? How is it going to look in the Eastern Conference? Because the Western Conference still seems to be the most dominant conference.
Well, I think that the East, well, I'll put it like this. The Western Conference has the most talent.
That's correct.
Eastern Conference is the toughest conference to play in. Okay.
Right. I got you.
When you look at talent top to bottom, you have to look at what's out west. But when you look at the level of basketball, the physicality and tenacity, and that there's not that much a difference between the number 1 team and the number 8 team, as we just saw in this past playoffs. The East is the tougher conference, because when you can get a Miami Heat team to
that's what I want to do.
A Milwaukee Bucks, a Boston Celtics, you know, a Philadelphia doesn't even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
And it's because those teams, they're so close together. You know, a half a game here really separates a lot of those teams. So when we look at the offseason movement, the West got more talent, but I think that if you're looking to see really good competitive basketball, it's about watching all the teams in the East.
In the East, correct. And let's segue right on into the CP3 trade.
Well, hold on.
Go ahead. You got something to say? Go ahead.
I'll tell you what's going to be interesting before we get to that.
All right, come on.
Is what's going to happen with Chris Middleton in Milwaukee. Because he is now unrestricted free agent. He is. So that's going to be key for the Bucks to see if they decide to re-sign him and keep him. If not, Drew Holiday and Giannis alone are not enough for the Bucks to stay at the upper echelon of the Eastern. And so I want to be clear on that. Also, we need to be mindful of what the Sixers do. Of course, you got him. You got Maxey. Now, I'm going to tell you, I think that they need to let Harden go.
Yes, I totally agree. Yes.
What I would to do, watch this. You heard it here first. What I would do if you don't let Harden go, I would do a sign and trade. I would sign James Harden and trade him for Damian Lillard.
Come on. You heard it here first.
Because
Come on.
Dame Dollard and Joel Embiid. I think that a Dame Dollard, Joel Embiid, and a Maxey combination of your monster in Philly, that takes you to the finals. And you heard it here.
Because out of the Harden camp, he's talking about he wants to go back to Houston. I don't think Houston wants him back.
Yeah. And I tell you this, see this right here? I'm repping the hometown. But understand this.
Yeah.
I am giving you some bias, but I'm also giving you some facts. Dame Dollar, Embiid, and Maxey would be a phenomenal 3-headed monster.
Yes. I don't know if teams would want to go and play Philly with that combination, especially.
Oh, you don't want it. You don't want that smoke.
There'll be no more than just for cheesesteaks in Philly after that.
Got that right.
I had to get it in. I had to. Man. My man and his Philly teams.
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, can we go into the CP3 thing now? Come on. Please
Okay,
talk to me about that.
so now listen. Now, I had to agree with a dear friend of ours, and hopefully will be a friend of the show as we continue to grow. And that's my
Right.
man Acho. Emmanuel Acho
Yes.
put it best when it came to this. It's a win-win-win situation.
Mhm.
Okay, CP3 won because he gets out of Washington. Jordan Poole won because he got out of Golden State.
Right.
Golden State won because now there's a better chance of them getting Draymond. Okay, because Poole and Draymond were not going to be able to cohabitate together.
No,
Okay,
they were not.
so now listen, that's
Mhm.
the win-win-win of this situation. Okay,
Yes.
now you ask me how I feel about it. Now, I think that CP3, if he's not willing to come off the bench, is going to be detrimental to Golden State making a run for championships any longer. And the reason that I say that is because his style of play,
Yes, right.
at least from what we know of CP3 in the past, his
Mhm.
style of play does not fit what the Warriors have presently done, unless Steve Kerr is getting ready to change his offensive philosophy. And unless Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and some of these other guys are going to change how they play the game, CP3 is going to have to come off the bench. He's going to have to
Right.
be the catalyst for the second unit. That you know that you have a guy that's not going to set the team back, is not going to turn the ball over,
I'm
is
going to
going to
turn the ball over. Mhm.
in the right position, can get buckets when needed, and can set other people up. Now,
Exactly.
if that's how they're going to use CP3, then Golden State becomes dangerous. But if they're going to make him a starter, who what is he going to do?
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because he
All
can't even physically play that long anymore. He can't physically do it. He's great at what he does now when he is on the court, but physically CP3 does not have it.
come
He
on.
has to come off the bench and support that second team and become a catalyst. I mean, and he is still relatively clutch. So if you
Yeah.
give him second half minutes, kind of like what I said about LeBron last year, this past season, I mean, you
Mhm.
give him about a good 23 to 26 minutes max, I believe Chris Paul can really contribute. And how you mentioned earlier about how Steph Curry would need to adjust his. No. This is Steph Curry's team. CP3 would have to adjust to how this team is playing, even from the bench standpoint. He even got bench players that are accustomed to playing a
Talking.
certain way. So CP3 would have to utilize his skills and his high basketball IQ to adjust to what the Golden State Warriors need. Once again, coming off the bench.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. All right.
All right.
So
So I
so you know,
believe that's it for the CP3 situation. So let's go on into the Ja Morant situation and his 25-game suspension that the NBA has handed down.
hey, well, look at this. If I'm Ja, I have to be actually rejoicing. I have to be happy. Because I think of back, and some of our listeners may not even know what I'm about to refer to, but back in the day, Gilbert Arenas, not the same situation, but Gilbert Arenas got put out the league because of a gun situation.
That is correct.
So for Ja to just get 25 games, that I mean, hey, that's good. Hopefully, um, during this time, Ja is going to do the work so that he doesn't put himself in this situation again. And truly, I hope that this is a lesson to all of us. Just let me take a moment from getting away from just sports and just talking about
Yeah.
social media and the influence
Mhm.
that social media has. That even as our podcast is on social media
On social
platforms,
media. Right.
social media, you have to be mindful of how you use it, because so many people look at what you do, and the greater your influence, the greater your impact.
That's
And
right.
so what Ja missed is the level of impact that his influence has. So hopefully from this, he will take the time to make an introspective searching of himself,
That's right.
do the necessary work to be okay with who he is in his own skin and not feel as though he be something or someone more than what he really is. I mean, you, of course, being from South Carolina, me living now in South Carolina, we know
Right.
where.
Right.
Okay, we know that he wasn't raised in the hood. I'm just saying. Okay?
Right.
We know that he didn't go to public school. I'm just saying.
Just
So,
saying.
so let's be authentically who we are, and take this opportunity to show that, number one, second chances are real.
That's right.
Get second chances. Let's make an impact. He didn't lose his Nike deal. I don't think he lost his Powerade deal. So
I don't think he
now,
did either.
yeah, with the influence that you still have, it's now time to make a positive impact in the lives of all of those who have been watching you. So hopefully you learn.
That's
The
right.
good thing is young, so he can bounce back from this.
Yeah,
So
he can definitely bounce back
I
from
agree
them.
with the 25 teams, though. I do agree with
Yes,
25.
yes. The 25. At one point in time, it was really rumored that they were going to go 40, but I'm really glad they went with 25. I believe this is that's enough for him to enough gain. We for this coming season. He already got hit in the wallet with the Nike deal, losing that. I mean, we know that these guys, especially with the face of him being of the team, he really got hit in the pocketbook losing that deal. But the main thing I suggest he does is really look into his circle and find him a new circle of friends, because peer pressure is real. It doesn't matter who you are, no matter how big you are, how little you are, peer pressure is real. And I wouldn't let peer
It's
pressure cause me to lose my job and my income, because he has a family that he has well taken care of since he's been in the league. And so and I
that's
wouldn't jeopardize that for an Instagram post. So he really needs to take I can say, a real evaluation of himself, look inside himself, find out who really John Morant is, and really reevaluate his circle. Just clean that circle up.
facts.
Okay. And so, wow, that's it with John Morant's situation. And let's go into our my favorite time of the season. Let's go into the NFL
Oh,
talk.
yeah.
Come on with it. Now, you talking about fans now, you talking about biasness and truth mixed in together. This thing is going to be mixed in like a great margarita, and I love my margaritas. Come on here, Brown, give it to us.
All right. So listen, the key thing that we have to deal with right now. So much stuff going on in the off season, but really what
Yes.
I want your thoughts on is, where do you think D Hop and Dalvin Cook are going to end up? Because they are the two big free agents that are still available.
They are still available. And it's hard for me to say. I really was hoping that Miami Dolphins were going to pick up Dalvin Cook. Yes. That's their second string.
What you say?
Yes.
You know
Can you
what?
imagine him coming at second string?
No.
Third, come on.
You know where I'd love to see Dalvin Cook go, and I hate to
Where's
say,
that?
because I do not like this team at all.
Oh,
But
come on.
you put Dalvin Cook on this team, they become a contender right away.
I know you're gonna say it. Say it. Go ahead.
And that is out there in New England with Bill Belichick.
I know you're gonna say it. Now you're talking about a team that I don't like worse than the Cowboys, a team that I just cannot stand, the New England Patriots, man.
I understand, but
But
he would
he can
alleviate
fit,
pressure off of Mac Jones
and he needs it.
from the standpoint of the run game and his ability to pass catch out of the backfield. It would open up so much for that offense.
And
Um,
that's true. But will they throw out the backfield? I mean, I watched some of the New England games last year. Is
well,
it you
they had nobody to throw to. Who was it going to throw?
right? I give it. I give that to you. I mean, I feel like New England right now is just. I mean, trying to take my biasness out of it. I feel like right now that's an organization that it really truly is lost. They're lost in the way right now. the Jedi known as Belichick. I feel like he has lost his way since my man left out of New England and went to Tampa Bay and won the
Hold on, man.
championship.
Hold on.
He hasn't won anything since.
Now listen, I'm like you. I don't like to say anything too good about New England, but Bill hurt himself. Sometimes in life, some of us try to operate like we're smarter than what we really are, and that's what Bill here. Bill when he went and got a special teams guy and a defense and a defensive guy to call the offense, we already knew that was not going to end well. Okay, so now he goes and he gets Bill O'Brien, who was a known commodity on the offensive side of the ball. Every offense that Bill O'Brien has been over has done well.
That's true.
So now Mac Jones also gets a person who he's worked with before. Because Bill O'Brien was at Alabama when Mac Jones was there. So Mac Jones
correct.
Now has a familiar voice. And so I think that if you give that young man a home run hitting weapon like Dalvin Cook, I'm trying to tell you.
Even with Dalvin, let's say New England picks up Dalvin Cook, right? Mm-hmm. Right. We know the type of demagogue Belichick is, man. So will he let someone else call the offensive plays, man? I mean, truly call the plays, because if he let Brian O'Brien and Matt Jones do their thing, they can't become a contender. I'm with you on that, and they can give the Buffalo Bills some real heat. Go ahead, what you say?
Look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you why he's going to do that. Okay, and this is facts. Okay, the reason that he going to lead an offense alone this year is because Robert Kraft is breathing down his neck right now.
That's right.
Robert Kraft, like, look here, we let Brady go because I trusted you, and Brady has been to the playoffs every year since he left. Brady got a Super Bowl since he left, and you have nothing. So
nothing.
I guarantee you, Mr. Robert Kraft is breathing down that neck right now, and it's hot. Right. So Bill gonna lead that offense alone.
That's true. I believe that, because Belichick, this whole situation, the last 2 years of Tom Brady there, and with Tom Brady having pretty good success in Tampa Bay, I really do believe that Robert Kraft is breathing down his neck. And hey, we also see that big talk Belichick had, saying that there's a whole plug-and-play system. It doesn't really matter. I can plug a guy in and still win. He obviously took it to the coaching staff. I can just plug a guy in anywhere and have him call plays. It's not, that does not work. This is not Pop Warner football, man. This is where the pro big boys play,
It don't even work in Pop Warner football. So,
Exactly.
Again, he thought he was the smartest person in the room, and found out he was in a room by himself.
By himself. Yeah, lying, man. All right. So while we still in this NFL talk, I'm gonna see how much facts my man can continue to kick. Let us segue to the city. Oh, that wonderful city of brotherly love. And let's talk about your Eagles, T. Brown. Come on.
I mean, okay. What do you want to talk about when it comes to?
I'm just gonna hit you with it. I know we had something else later on down in the script that we were gonna hit, but I'm just gonna ask you: do you think your Eagles, with the Philly special, can they go back next year to the Super Bowl? I'm not even talking about winning it, but can they get back there, my brother? That's one of the hardest things to do in the pros, is even make it to the Super Bowl, and repeating is even harder.
Oh, well, guess what? Somebody hit my bell for you heard it here first. We going back to the bowl.
Come on, bro.
It's that simple. You heard it here first. We going back to the bowl. Okay. Yeah. We've made a couple changes, but we still have our key components and concepts that caused us to make that run to the Super Bowl. I tell you like this: as long as Jalen Hurts is under center, as long as that offensive line and that defensive line is churning, as long as we don't have significant injuries, you might as well look. I might as well go ahead and book my ticket now so I can be front row to watch whomever we gonna play.
I know that's right, because I know, being a former offensive lineman myself, and you sent me some footage earlier this week, and I watched closely the Philadelphia Eagles the last 4 games of the season, as well as throughout the entire playoffs. Offensive linemen, we do not get the credit we deserve.
Come on.
The offensive line for the Eagles, we're taking some of the best defensive linemen and linebackers and shoving them into the defensive secondary. I mean, and anytime they ran the ball,
these
guys couldn't hardly lay a hand on Jalen Hurts. That's why he was able to run so free. They're big, they're strong. And another thing that people don't understand about being an offensive lineman is not just about being big and strong. It's about having quick feet. And oh my God, if any offensive line coach in the world, in America, really want to show future offensive linemen how to block and how what we call textbook blocking is done, they need to get all the footage from the Philadelphia Eagles they can get. I mean, that's a championship O-line there.
Yes,
I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm not an Eagles fan. Hey, look, later on in the season, I'm going to talk all the trash I can about your Eagles. But I have to call facts on that. The number 1 offensive line, I know the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, but the number 1 offensive line, in my opinion, in the NFL, ending last year and probably going into this year, belong to the Philadelphia Eagles.
And just make sure that when you talk about us, make sure that you put conference championship on our name, okay?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Whenever you talk about us, just make sure that you put defending conference champion on our
conference channel. Champions, yeah.
Now, what you just said, I'm gonna use the segue to talk about your team. The little kittens in Carolina. Okay, the kittens of Carolina. Because the only reason I'm doing this is because your boy that used to be here in Philly went Carolina, and he wanted to throw shade. So since he wanted to throw shade, I'm gonna throw some facts at his shade. Okay, so it can be a sunny day. Miles Sanders tried to shade the Eagles, and what he missed is that, and you can go look at what is that? Pro Football Focus.
Pro Football Focus.
And do you know that Miles Sanders ranked last in yards after contact?
Yes, he did.
That means whenever he got hit, he went down.
He went down.
So the 1,300 yards that he got was because the majority of those yards were untouched yards, which meant that it was the offensive line that was doing the work for him. So while people wanted to say, well, how come Philly didn't re-sign him? Well, if you can't get yards after contact and you struggle at holding on to the ball, why are we going to keep you?
Why? Why?
Because what y'all going to find out in Carolina is that if you don't have a really good offensive line, Miles Sanders ain't going to get you too many miles of nothing.
Yeah, but they're gonna get 2 yards in a cloud of dust, right? Hey, but see, I'm hoping that this is an opportunity for Miles Sanders to really showcase his real talent, if it's really there. Because the stats are stats, and the stats do not lie.
Numbers don't.
They don't lie. And so, and we as a team for the last, I want to say, since we played the Broncos in the Super Bowl, our offensive line has been going down, man.
Facts.
And it's been a struggle. I mean, we didn't let players go that we should have let go. We really didn't exercise what you talk about a lot on this show, is player development. It really hasn't been a whole lot of that. It's been trying to take that Belichick approach to it, if you will. Plug them in, let them play, let's get it. And
Right.
that's not how any really sport plays. You have to have player development, get good solid players in that are starters, and good solid players in your depth chart, and let your young guys develop. So when we do have a situation to where there's trades or retirements or whatever the case may be, to where these starters are no longer in the lineup, you could bring in those backup guys, and the train keeps rolling. The
That's
train
right.
keeps rolling. And so Sanders is going to have to get out here and really show that he can hold on to the ball. The Panthers signed Deuce Staley here in the offseason, who's a wonderful running back coach. Hopefully he's taking the time now to OTAs. And I know, former Philly, I know. But see, and he is one of the greatest running backs that has played the game. When
Oh, no doubt.
fundamental wise through his entire career, he has been one of the most fundamentally sound players. And when he rolled over into coaching, that has been his thing. Fundamentals. So if
Hey,
we can
listen.
get Miles Sanders to hold on to the ball, and if he's a scat back, the man scat, get in the hole and goes,
Hey, listen.
but fumbling is not going to be an option.
To your point, every single running back that Deuce Staley has coached has become a star in the league.
Wow. Come on, give it to us.
Okay, every single one. If you want to go back, Brian Westbrook.
Yes.
Shady McCoy was coached by Deuce Staley. You want to look at even DeAndre Swift, who we just signed, was coached by Deuce Staley. Miles Sanders, coached by Deuce Staley. Kenny Gainwell, his rookie year was coached by Deuce Staley. There's a list of guys that Deuce Staley has put his hands on and turned into very good running backs in the league. So I think that truthfully, he's probably the best running back coach in the league. Very underrated. I do believe that probably after this stop, here it comes again. Somebody hit my theme music of "You Heard It Here First." You heard it here first. Deuce Staley will be a head coach in the next 2 years.
Oh, the next 2, wow. I was going to give him 3 to 5, but wow, yeah, okay.
In the next 2, it's going to happen. All right, trust and believe. So
okay, well, you heard it here first. So 2 dudes in the mic.
Let's keep moving because since we talking football, I noticed that your other team is something about you and these cat teams.
Yeah.
The Lions went and got them.
Cat.
They went and got them.
Cat daddy, brother.
I know they went and got themselves some new helmets. Now
some new digs.
Yeah. The question is, are the new helmets going to lead to new wins?
If you go by the design of this helmet, brother, oh my God, no. It's like they took the futuristic modern style that we're playing in today and then slapped on a label from 60, 70 years ago. I mean, the NFL championship days, bro. What were they thinking?
I don't know. But
if our season looks like that helmet,
I heard that. So listen. So staying with football, we've come off, of course, the XFL season and playoffs and so forth, and now we're at the USFL playoffs. Yes, my Stars did not make it. They almost made it. They came up short, lost their two last games of the season. I think that next year the Stars are going to have to make a change at quarterback.
Yes.
And I think they're going to have to make some changes across the offensive line. And I think that they can be back. Defensively, they were straight. Offensively, they just struggled. There were too many games where they just could not put the ball in the end zone. If there's anything that we know is that, six beats 3 any time of the day.
Any time of the day.
Getting more touchdowns, and all you doing is kicking field goals, you're going to end up losing the game. So, hey, that's it for my Stars. But we do have coming up this weekend, of course, the playoffs. So we have Pittsburgh. We had the Pittsburgh Maulers, the other PA team, the Pittsburgh Maulers taking on the Michigan Panthers, and on tomorrow, and then Sunday we have the Birmingham Stallions taking on the New Orleans Breakers. So who you got? Who you got tomorrow in the Pittsburgh Michigan game?
Man, look, I I have been a Jeff Fisher fan, but I was so glad to see him go because I knew that once he left, I didn't really care who the head coach became.
Yo,
I
you
feel
did
like the Panthers were going to
better.
succeed.
You did say that I'm gonna give you your credit. You did say that they were going to be better once they fire him.
Yes, I didn't think they were going to be this better, but they were better. So I'm gonna say it like this: on that side of the bracket, prejudiceness. I'm going with the Michigan Panthers. I'm not going with no stats. I'm gonna leave the stats to you. Michigan Panthers. On the other side of the bracket, I'm going with the stellar team from last year, the New Orleans Breakers. They are doing exactly what I thought they were gonna do, and win, man. They are a team. New Orleans Breakers. Let's get it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Now listen, I'm gonna go with you on Michigan. Michigan has been steady this year. Their defense is solid. Their defense is solid, and their offense does just enough to win. And because Pittsburgh is not a high-powered offense, I think that Michigan beats Pittsburgh tomorrow. I believe it's going to be a game. Book it 21-17 will be the final score.
That's about right. Michigan's defense is going to play the factor, right?
It's going to be a hard-fought game. But my friend, in the words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. When it comes to this Birmingham and New Orleans, okay? Aren't the Birmingham Stallions the defending champions?
Defending champs, yes.
Aren't the Birmingham Stallions the team that everybody has been chasing now for 2 years?
And 2 years.
And all of a sudden, you just gonna say, I guess it's because New Orleans has that Carolina blue color in their uniform
my brother lives there.
Blinded you to who they're playing against, or it could be because your
brother lives there.
I was getting there. Or that your brother lives there, that you feel some kind of affinity and biasness. But the facts say, this is what the facts say, my friend. The facts say that Birmingham is the best team in the USFL. The facts say that Birmingham is the defending USFL champions. The facts say that Birmingham has beaten New Orleans in the regular season. The facts say that Birmingham has a better quarterback. The facts say Birmingham has a better offense. The facts say that Birmingham has the better defense. So unless Birmingham wets the bed on Sunday, they will be playing for their second championship to be, in the words of Irvin Magic Johnson, back to back, baby.
I feel you. But the Breakers, hey, they are in the Cinderella position. And sometimes that Cinderella team, with all that talent and all that facts, hey, things happen on any given Sunday. Come on with me.
You're right. But you know Cinderella lost her slipper, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I just
she lost it. But oh, did she find it? Go ahead.
No, she didn't find it.
Somebody else brought to her.
That ain't happening for New Orleans.
The football gods might bring the championship.
This ain't no fairy tale, okay? This is football. Now,
we'll see by Monday, brother, what it looks like.
Look, since we're having so much fun here talking football, we it's early, but we're about 60 to 70 days away from
about 70
football. So let's talk some college football and do our way too early college football conference winners.
Ooh, wee. All right, what's conference gonna start off with first? I think we should start off with the ACC. What do you think?
Oh, really? You want to start with the ACC? That's what you want to do?
You all be the Seminoles.
Really? Okay. Well, you already know, and this is bias, and this is bias. No, this is bias and fact all at the same time. Okay.
Come on.
Florida State, Florida State conference championship.
I feel you on that, man. I feel you. All right. I'm not I don't know. I can't call that one. I'm not a Clemson fan, and so I guess by default, I am gonna say the Florida State Seminoles. That's only by default.
Come
Because we
on.
can continue with them. Because once again, like we talked about in this show a lot, player development. Florida State did some things with the NIL and scholarships and blah, blah, blah in the off season, but they have a lot of returning players. And that will be the Florida State Seminoles advantage.
Come on. All right. So next, let's go the American Conference. Who you got coming at it? Who is going to win the American Conference?
And who is left in the American Conference?
Hey man, look, a lot of moves aren't happening until 2024.
I don't know. I don't know. Can I say Houston? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's one of the weakest conferences. I didn't even think about the American Conference before we started the show.
Oh, so
I really did.
You just wanted to deal with Power Five? Is that? I mean,
We can do Group of Five. That's fine.
I mean,
That's why I said who's left in the ACC?
Is that what
AAC? I mean,
I just want to know, is that where your mindset is to just act like these other conferences don't mean diddly poo? Is that where you are with things?
Power Five and everyone else.
All right, well, fine then. Since okay, well, let's do Power Five then for the sake of you being able to have the conversation. Okay.
Right.
So all right, so ACC we agreed on Florida State. Okay, and again, this is the way early predictions here. So next we have Big 12. Who you got in the Big 12?
Oh, all day long, man. Go blue, man. Michigan's going undefeated.
No. Let me back up. I said the Big 12, not the
Big 12. They said Big 10. I'm sorry, I got a little static. I'm sorry. Once again, this is a Power 5 conference.
Yeah, Big 12.
I'm going with my man. I don't know if he's gonna do it this season, but Archie, yeah, let's do it. Texas. Why not Texas?
Really?
Yes.
Texas.
Yes.
Okay. Well, good. Well, we're gonna be on opposite sides of this. So you think that Texas, before leaving for the SEC, is going to win the Big 12 this year? Sorry, sir.
Win it and leave.
I got a dark horse that's gonna win this.
Oh God, he's gonna say what I think he's gonna say. Go ahead.
Kansas State.
I knew it.
Kansas State is winning.
It's amazing how neither one of us chose the Horned Frogs, but go ahead.
Look, hey, they got to figure out their quarterback situation.
And it's a situation.
And remember, this is the way early predictions. We're gonna look at this again right before the season starts. So some of these picks may change, but right now, Kansas State is that team. Now we go Big 10, and you are, when it comes to the Big 10, ain't nobody.
It was big earlier.
There's only two teams that matter in the Big 10, and out of those teams, one of those teams I'm never gonna pick. I don't care how good they are. Okay. And out of those two teams is either Big Blue or it's them Buckeyes. And I don't go with them Buckeyes on nothing. So Big Blue all day long.
They going undefeated.
Jim Harbaugh does it 3 years in a row.
Yes. And I'm hoping that we win a national championship this year. I'm talking about undefeated all.
I ain't going that far.
I'm going there.
I ain't going that far.
Talking about a team that I've been supporting since my youth, the Wolverine.
Look, me too, but I ain't going that far. I ain't going that far.
I know you want Florida State. Next.
All right, so here we go. Who's winning the Pac-12?
Oh, we all know the other USC is winning that. Hands down.
You know what? I'm gonna disagree with you, and I'm gonna
Like
go
the
with the
Huskies or
I'm,
something.
and I'm gonna go with the Mighty Ducks of Oregon. The team, the
I need you
team,
to get some facts on that one for me.
the team that has been known to give USC trouble.
Hmm.
I'm going with the Oregon
Historically,
Ducks.
yes.
I'm going with the Oregon Ducks.
All right. I'm going with USC. The way too early pick.
And,
USC, man.
and listen, and while you tripping, by the time we get close to the season, I might be changing that to Utah.
Oh, no, we're about to have some fun now as the season approaches.
So,
Oh, I can taste, I can taste Wild Wings already. Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm gonna have hot sauce all on these lips this year. Oh my
bro,
god.
when we get to these picks again this year, you gonna be owing me some food all over again.
Oh man, we'll see.
So here we
You
go.
know, I'm good at throwing caution in the wind.
The last conference to deal with is none other than the SEC.
Say it with me, conference of conferences.
And I'm gonna tell you who I have on my mind when it comes to the SEC. I got Georgia on my mind.
Georgia, Georgia.
The sweet words of Ray Charles. I got Georgia on my
Yeah.
mind.
Hey, you know I am a Gamecocks fan.
That's right.
And a certain friend of mine is always questioning my loyalty.
Lordy.
So I do not care about stats on this particular pick. I'm going with my Gamecocks. Yes.
Bean
Yes.
or ball.
Because the things that I've been reading about my Gamecocks and from spring to now, ooh, Georgia. Ooh, them Bulldogs better watch out. Spencer Rattler, Rattler, I mean, oh, we got some tight ends for you, some wide receivers for you. Oh my God, the defense, man. We have player development. We're gonna see how that happens this year. But oh my God, I believe that my Gamecocks are gonna put points on the board. Will those Bulldogs be able to stop it?
Well, listen, just based on your excitement just now, I would think they're gonna win the championship. Too bad though that your excitement ain't going to translate into wins. But I'm glad to see your excitement for the Gamecocks for once, and that you're actually showing some loyalty. But anyway,
That's right.
look, right now, Georgia is the creme de la creme of college football, and I don't see the Gamecocks being the team to dethrone them. Now anything can happen, as we know when it comes to college football. But
Any given Saturday.
and it's way early. We may change things a little bit later on, but
We might tweak it a little bit later.
listen, bro, we're getting close here to the end of the show, and
Yeah.
we can't end this show without talking about the super kick heard round the world. Oh my,
Oh yeah, let's get to that.
oh my, the
A
bloodline.
swerve of swerves.
The bloodline has officially fallen apart. Jay
Yeah.
Uso set us up ever so emotionally and got us vested in that he was going to turn on his brother and say, "You out." But we did not know that in the next sentence he was going to say, "I'm out too," and put boot to face to Roman.
Yes. Yes. Oh, the head on the table didn't look so good.
And look here, bro.
Yes, come on.
I don't know what is going to happen moving forward,
Mhm.
but I know that tonight everybody gonna be tuned into SmackDown to find out what in the world is Roman gonna do, because Roman's reign is crumbling.
It's crumbling. It's crumbling, brother. I have to agree with you. I've been a Roman Reigns fan since just days of Shield. But my God, man, you talking about a man opera here? I mean, drama.
Come on.
They are producing this show, my SmackDown, and the creative direction they've gone in with the bloodline. They even have Rikishi now on social media stating his opinion about the thing. You talking about a super kick heard around the world, man. Look, I call myself a sports entertainment, or better yet, pro wrestling aficionado.
On in
And
here.
even I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. Look, none of us saw that coming. Now,
Right.
I could have saw Jay walking out and not making a decision, and that's what I
Right.
thought happened. But bruh, I did not see the super kick heard around the world coming. I mean,
Yeah.
I literally almost fell out my chair last week
Yes.
watching that thing. When I saw that, I mean, my eyes got bugged like this, and I said, "Ah!"
Right. And did you see what he did on the mic? How he just sold that thing. Like, hey, bro, you on the outs. Hey, I've been in your shadow. I've been trying to overcome and step out from your shadow that you've been casting, Mr. Football, or whatever it is in their state, prom king, and now here I is. I'm the right hand man, and you have a problem with that, brother?
Come on.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, he sold that. He
He
sold the
sold
message.
that.
But now, this is where I believe that we're going. Okay,
Where we going with this? Mhm.
and then I'm done, and we can sign off from two dudes in a mic, and you can outro us however you want to after I make this point right here.
Come on.
So, Money in the Bank, we are going to see the Usos against Solo and Roman in a. And I think that after Money in the Bank, it's just going to be Roman and the Wise Man. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. And believe it or not, I'm on the same page with you. Roman's going to find himself as just a wise man. And not much longer after that, we will see the longest reigning Universal Champion dethroned. And those titles are going probably to main event Uso. But the wild card we have running around here now, if they let LA Knight win the Money in the Bank, yeah, we don't know what may happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, and speaking of yes, this is the second episode of Two Dudes in a Mic. As we exit out of here, we thank you for tuning in. You can catch us on the YouTube channel. You can catch us on the new YouTube podcast channel. This is Two Dudes and a Mic. I am your host, Captain Cat Daddy, and you have been blessed with the Spit Fatter T8 Brown.
Make sure to tune in next week where we'll have more sports talk and a whole lot of opinion sprinkled with a little bit of facts.
Yeah.